Good afternoon. I guess this would be a bad time to say that it hasn't rained before today in the last 37 days. Apologize for the inclement weather. I hope you all made it in safely. Thank you. Welcome to the White Coat Ceremony, endowed by the class of 1965. I'm Barry Collins, Associate Dean for Medical Alumni Affairs and Executive Director of the Medical Alumni Association and Medical School Foundation. It's really an honor to be here today to welcome the School of Medicine's class of 2025 and present them with their white coats. I do have just one small housekeeping item I'd like to share. Just if I could remind everybody that the University of Virginia does have a mask requirement for all indoor events, and so I would just appreciate your compliance with this during our ceremony today. For those who are able to join us in person, I welcome you to Old Cabell Hall in the University of Virginia. Not far from here, where we are, stands Pavilion 10, which is considered our first medical education building. This was the home of Dr. Robley Dunglinson, who Thomas Jefferson recruited from London in 1824 to join the first faculty of the University of Virginia. Dunglinson was the first full-time professor of medicine in the United States and a leader in medical education. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the family and friends of our first-year medical students who have joined us from across the globe, both in this room and online, to celebrate this very special occasion. We are fortunate to have you here today and celebrate with your students. I would like to thank our current medical students who are volunteering today to help us out with the ceremony, as well as the staff of the Medical Alumni Association and our health system development team. Next, I would like to introduce our college deans, and if you could just please stand to be recognized. Dr. Lori Archibald Pannone, Dean of Dunglinson College. Dr. John Densmore, Dean of Hunter College. Dr. Dana Reddick, Dean of Penn College. And Dr. Sean Reed, Dean of Reed College. And I would also like to welcome our colleagues from our regional campus in Inova, at Inova Fairfax, Dr. Craig Scheifetz, Regional Dean and Vice President of Corporate Health Affairs. And Alicia Freedy, Assistant Dean for Curriculum. I would also like to acknowledge Dr. Kevan Van Landingham from the class of 1985, who is the president of the UVA Medical Alumni Association Board of Directors. And Dr. Pat McManus, also from the class of 1985, who serves as the president of the Board of Trustees of the Medical School Foundation. I'd like to recognize Dr. Charlie Henderson from the class of 1965. Unfortunately, Charlie couldn't be with us here this afternoon, but has a number of years of distinguished service to his alma mater. He and his class, through generous donations, created an endowment which covered all the expenses for today's ceremony and the white coats that are going to be presented. So please join me in thanking not only Dr. Henderson, but the class of 1965 for their support. The Medical Alumni Association was established in 1949, and in 1972 we established our Medical School Foundation. We are here to support the School of Medicine, and especially our students here at the University of Virginia. Our organization provides vital funding to the School of Medicine, supporting scholarships, research projects, and other School of Medicine priorities. In fiscal year 2022, we will provide $4.8 million to the School of Medicine, all through generous support from our alumni. And our alumni, as I mentioned, has a tradition of giving back to the school in many meaningful ways. And earlier this week, the Medical Alumni Association provided each one of our first-year students with a stethoscope, which was the result of alumni gifts specifically from the class of 1963. I am proud that our tradition of giving begins with our students. Each year, the graduating class holds a fundraising project in order to give back to the institution. I really hope that the class of 2025 will match this generous spirit and precede the classes that came before them in their participation rate. For our students of the class of 2025, I really encourage you to be an active member of your medical alumni association, now as students, but also as alumni. Now, a bit of history about the white coat. If we go back to the end of time of the 19th century, it was a period of tremendous progress in public health and medicine when the benefits of sanitation and clean water were recognized. In the hospital setting, antiseptics revolutionized care. With the advent of germ theory, physicians aimed to be more scientific in their practice and their dress. Medical schools also adopted a more rigorous and standardized curriculum. The white coat embodied this new philosophy. White is the color of hope, and the lab coat the symbol of the healer. Surgeons became the first to wear the white coat, followed by hospital physicians and then general practitioners. By 1915, it had become the norm in the field of medicine. The white coat reminds physicians of their professional duties as prescribed by Hippocrates, to lead their lives and practice their art in respectability and honor. To honor this, the white coat ceremony is performed for the incoming class at the beginning of each academic year. The white coat ceremony welcomes those embarking on their medical careers to the community of physicians by giving them this symbol of compassion and honor. The Medical Alumni Association is proud to be part of this journey in your medical education. Now I would like to turn it over to Stephen Sherping, a member of the class of 2022, and the president of the Mulholland Society, which is our student government here at the School of Medicine. Stephen?
Wow. Hello and welcome. Thank you for that lovely intro. My name is Stephen Sherping. I'm a fourth-year student, AKA the best year ever, and current president of the Mulholland Society. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be speaking with you all today. I remember sitting in your seats, trying to take in the majesty of this moment. What an incredible accomplishment this is. To matriculate to UVA is one thing. To do so in a pandemic, well, that's an entirely different beast. I am proud of you. Your family and friends are surely filled with such pride. You've climbed the mountaintop, and yet, as you'll hear over and over again, your journey has really just begun. So again, welcome. Now, let me burst your bubble. The white coat you will receive today, a gracious gift from the class of 1965, is not built for performance. It's 65% polyester, 35% cotton, which unfortunately doesn't do much on a blustery 4:30 a.m. stroll to the hospital in mid-December. While on a humid and rainy day like today, however, it'll just stick to you, holding in every little ounce of sweat. Please don't look too closely at me. Oh, and another thing, it's white, which from personal experience makes for the perfect background for a nice fresh cup of coffee when you're in a mad dash to clinic. Let me go one step further though. As magical as this moment is, the white coat, well, it has no special powers. The first time I wore my white coat in the clinical setting was during our first OSCE. I have no idea what OSCE stands for, but I'll break it down simply. You and 6 of your classmates will rotate around the simulation center, interacting in brief 15-minute workshops with standardized patients. These actors help us refine our clinical medicine. During these experiences, we practice taking histories, performing exams, even writing notes. Sounds fun, right? Wrong. These necessary but nerve-wracking experiences are occasionally lifted by the levity of a standardized patient in another room screaming, "Ow, please don't try that again." There's a myriad of other pitfalls too. The the student who won't make eye contact, the one who passes out because they forgot to breathe, the really intense and highly detailed sexual history, or to top it all, simply walking into the wrong patient room to see one of your classmates has already started. After a couple rough patient interactions of my own, on my first OSCE, I thought I finally had an easy one. The patient was a young woman with unilateral ear pain and drainage for the past week. A year's worth of tuition had surely prepared me for this. Otitis media, an ear infection, I surmised. I quickly grabbed the otoscope off the wall, put a plastic tip on it, and very, very gingerly inserted it into the patient's right ear. To be honest, my FCM coach is here, but I didn't really look for fear I might actually hit the eardrum. As I took the scope out and reported my normal findings, I noticed that the plastic tip was missing. Curious, but in a rush, I quickly grabbed another tip off the wall and looked in the left ear. Clear as well, I think. As I sat down to report my findings, I couldn't help but notice something small and black sticking out of my patient's right ear. It was hard for the patient and I to keep a straight face, both now realizing I'd left a foreign body in their right ear. I so wish I could tell you I went to get it. I really do. But instead, I made a quick escape, moving on to my next victim. Again, you're going to learn a lot in medical school. Your first OSCE might not reflect this growth. The reason I share this embarrassing story is to make one salient point. It's the doctor that makes the white coat. It's you, the student, researcher, scientist that makes the white coat. And equally as important, it's you, the social justice advocate, cultural leader, piano player that makes the white coat. And it's you, the VMU water balloon champion, spike ball lover, White Claw drinker that makes the white coat. You are here because of who you are. These coats are awesome, but please, don't let them overshadow your authenticity, your uniqueness, the idiosyncrasies that make you interesting. Thousands of people become doctors each year, but at UVA, you're here to make an impact. You're here to be a difference maker. And your white coat, it's your platform. This platform, the aura of the white coat, is founded on those before us. It is our responsibility to continue this legacy, but that does not mean the direction is unwavering. If it wasn't clear before, it's now quite obvious that physicians wield tremendous power over our social and political spheres. Every day, I'm amazed at how my classmates and friends have come to epitomize the good doctor. Whether it be Jacqueline Carson, starting the homeless consult service, or Tiana Walker, working tirelessly to integrate race and justice into our curriculum. It is these instances where we carry not just our stethoscopes, but our values in our white coats. Ultimately, it is your passion for serving people that I hope has brought you here. Look around you, all of you, with an array of backgrounds and beliefs, share a common goal. Enjoy this community. Revel in its power. My hope for each and every one of you is that over your time at this institution, you will come to define for yourself what it means to be a physician, and you will carry this forward. Medical school is challenging. That is an understatement. From firsthand experience, I found that you can let the seemingly endless information, the continual drive for perfection, and the fear of failure eat at the very gifts that brought you here. For me, it took reflection on my values and better introspection to know that the best doctor I can be to my future patients is me. But I wasn't alone. This community, my incredible friends and support system have further empowered me to believe that my authentic self, flawed as it is, will prove the difference and give power to my white coat. While this is heavy and certainly worth reflecting on, I'd truly have missed my purpose if I didn't also tell you that medical school is and should be fun. You're going to learn and grow and do so much here. Through the challenges to come, you'll share in both the triumphs and intermittent defeats with your classmates, some of whom I hope will become your lifelong friends. And if you're really lucky and staying in just the right spot, that you might just meet your best friend and future wife smiling at the table across from you. Truly, you have so much to look forward to. Thank you all for being here. In light of the pandemic, we need good doctors now more than ever. Celebrate with your families, as you have truly earned it. As your journey begins, I implore you to remember who and what has brought you here, to appreciate this great opportunity, and to please, please share with us your unique gifts in this new family. 65% polyester, 35% cotton. Your white coat is ultimately a coat. You will decide how you wear it. Thank you all so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Stephen. I would like to ask our next speaker to come and join me at the podium, Dr. Susan Pollard, Senior Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs and Development, and an alumna from the class of 1982.
Thank you, Barry, and welcome to all of you here today who probably, like me, had to dash lots of raindrops getting from your cars or your buildings to this auditorium. So we're glad you're here. And on behalf of the Dean's Office and our outgoing Dean, Dean David Wilkes, and our incoming Dean, Dean-elect Melina Kibbe, I welcome you and thank everyone for attending, whether you're online or here in person, to the Class of 2025 White Coat Ceremony. Today's a very special day for the Class of 2025, and I think it's important to recognize all of the family and friends and loved ones that's supporting you in getting to where you are today. Today, you revel in a job well done, as Stephen has already mentioned, that you've accomplished so much just to be here. But to the patients you'll soon meet, the white coat you'll receive today means that you're a source of knowledge and a helper and a healer and someone to trust, and we know you'll wear it well. So feel the feelings that are part of today, the feelings that are part of being here. Those feelings of joy and of curiosity, of angst, but of accomplishment as well. The feeling of joining something bigger than yourself. You are now part of our global community of professionals who've dedicated lifetimes to searching and researching and to serving. And the history of all those providers is woven into the fabric of your white coat, a history that adds to your resiliency and to your responsibility. In your white coat, we are privy to the most important and intimate information a patient can share. We'll hear their tragedy and triumphs. We see humans suffering, and we see beating the odds. Together, we'll be present for first births, for successful treatments, for silent moments of incurable diagnoses, of denial, of the passing of a parent or a child before it even seems fair. And it's in those most human things that we come forward, we do the best we can do, but we are often most humbled. So I hope as you move forward at our great medical center and at this university, that your white coat will be a wearable reminder of your choice to pursue a life of service. You've joined a community of white coats, and in not too much time, you'll discover more of what your new white coat stands for in the world in which you live, not only to yourself, but to your family and friends and patients. I'm honored to share this moment as you embark on the adventure and the identity of care providers and lifelong learners while continuing your path of service. I actually do remember exactly where I was when I became aware of the significance of the white coat that I had just received. In the day or two following the receipt of my white coat, I was in a public setting when I saw a woman who was many months pregnant, near to delivery, and I was suddenly aware of what role I could play in the life of an expectant mother. I realized I could now be witness to a life-altering change in her life and the lives of those closest to her. I could be there, and I could be part of this woman's transition from expectant to actual motherhood. And while I was no better prepared to deliver a baby that day than the day before, I was suddenly aware of the awesome privilege that comes with that coat. Wearing that coat, I've heard stories that no one on this earth except me has, nor ever will hear. And I've learned through the many years of practicing as a family doctor to see the slight change in facial expression or tone of voice or level of eye contact that signal that there's a story waiting to be told. To get to that story, it doesn't just happen. I had to be able to ask respectfully, non-judgmentally, what that change was about, what the patient wanted me to know, or the family member wanted me to know. But I can promise you that once I learned how to do that, it never failed. It absolutely never failed, that the patient was ready to tell me a story, that the story was there, that it was waiting to be embraced and honored as significant and important, not just to the patient, but also to me. So one example, when I was a young doctor and a resident, I pretty much treated everybody with high blood pressure sort of following the same framework. The framework was, what are the questions that I asked? What's the exam that I did? What are the tests that I order? And ultimately, what are the medicines I offered, which drew from a short list of things that worked most of the time and were very successful. But as the years passed, I realized that I really needed to ask more than just one set of questions. As I ran into patients that were difficult to treat, I thought to myself, what am I missing? And so as I took the risk of asking different and more personal questions, the stories I heard started to change. And one day, to my utter amazement, a middle-aged woman that I was caring for, who had particularly difficult to treat high blood pressure, revealed to me that she was the victim of years of intimate partner violence. She had learned to deal with that abuse by the hands of her husband by drinking alcohol to excess, and it was her alcoholism that made her blood pressure so difficult to control. I'd actually known this person for quite a while. This woman was a nurse in one of the clinics I had worked in as a medical student, and I remembered her in her nursing role as being tough and competent, and honestly, to the third-year medical student, a little intimidating. However, that day she was not intimidating. She was ashamed and vulnerable and frightened. And to be honest, I was ashamed as well. I was ashamed that it'd take me so long to ask the right questions. And I was frightened I wouldn't know what to do for her. But all she needed was someone to be there and to hear the truth and to listen without judgment. And so this new information really changed the way we treated her high blood pressure. It allowed us to set goals that were different and were more realistic. Goals for getting respite from her difficult home life, goals for finding alternatives for stress reduction other than alcohol, goals for getting support from her extended family. And so we worked on all of those things, and her blood pressure was still hard to control at times, and her alcohol use contributed to other medical problems. But we were able to focus on the real problems in her life, not just the problem that legitimately brought her to the doctor. We were able to think about keeping her well and allowing her to make the best possible life for herself. And so she remained in her home with her husband. We, of course, talked about alternatives to that, but she chose to remain there despite the years of abuse and the risk to her own health. And ultimately, her husband did pass a couple of years ago. And now she's moved to another town, and she lives with her beloved daughter's family, and she's living the dream she hoped and waited for, and she's healthy and sober, and her blood pressure is no longer an issue. So that's a message to me and to all of you that we're at our best in medicine, not when we prescribe the right medications or when we make the right diagnosis. You will be at your best when you can figure out how all the science and the technical skill and the knowledge can complement what you learn from the story of the patient who is in the room with you. And you can use all of that information to help this one person on this one day in their life and in yours. So again, my congratulations and best wishes for your continued success to the members of the class of 2025 as you begin your medical education journey. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you, Dr. Pollard. As Dr. Pollard mentioned, Dr. Melina Kibbe has been appointed the 17th Dean of the UVA School of Medicine. She begins her role here on September 15th, but she did not want to miss this opportunity to greet you all and share the following video welcome. So if we can get our video queued up here.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Melina Kibbe, the next Dean of the School of Medicine, and I welcome you to Charlottesville and the University of Virginia School of Medicine. I want to thank our great partners at the Medical Alumni Association for supporting today's ceremony. And even though I could not be there in person, I am honored to celebrate this important day with all of you virtually. So today we are celebrating the learners who are embarking on this road of service. The donning of the white coat is an important ceremonial event for the class of 2025 as you take a key symbolic first step on your path to becoming a physician. I remember the excitement, anticipation, and incredible sense of unlimited possibilities that I felt waiting for my own white coat. I also vividly remember what it felt like to put the white coat on for the first time. The incredible sense of excitement for my future and for the contributions and impact that I would hopefully make. Students of the class of 2025, you have begun a transformational journey. It is a road that is both inspiring yet rigorous. 1 minute filled with enthusiasm and discovery, the next being overwhelmed and exhausted. As you adapt, as you apply your knowledge and see results, you will realize the profound difference that you can make in the lives of others. You will learn a lot about the scientific basis of medicine, how to take a clinical history, perform a mental and physical exam, order and interpret clinical tests, perform clinical procedures, and communicate with patients. As you continue to learn, to identify, to apply preventative, curative, and palliative clinical interventions, you will develop a prognosis about the future health of an individual based on their condition and the known interventions for it. You will become focused on learning, applying, questioning, double-checking, making sure, and doing it right. Remember, in the midst of your learning and applying this life-changing knowledge, that the patient is at the center of all that you do. At the University of Virginia, first and foremost, we strive to be patient-centered. So I want you to think back to some of your own experiences as a patient. How long did you wait before you saw the doctor? And did your anxiety increase while you were waiting alone in the exam room? When the doctor walked in the room, did they look you in the eye and greet you? Or did they just look at their notes and start talking? Did the doctor listen to what you were saying? Or were they more focused on a set of tests or sending a prescription to your pharmacy? As you advance through the curriculum and daily practice that will prepare you to be a doctor, we want you to never lose sight of the humanity and individuality of the people you are treating. We want you to enhance your capacity for compassion and genuine caring. The combination of knowledge and respect for those you are helping will ensure that you are a great healer, not merely a competent physician. Wearing the white coat is a constant reminder of this core relationship with the patient and your commitment to this life of service. I am so glad that you are all here at the University of Virginia School of Medicine. You will make our school a better place. You will change how medicine is practiced. You will become a compassionate physician leader of tomorrow. You will make us proud. You are the class of 2025. Congratulations.
We look forward to Dr. Kibbe's arrival. Now, on to the moment we've all been waiting for, the presentation of the white coats. At this time, I'd like to call up Dr. Meg Keeley, our Senior Associate Dean for Education and an alumna from the class of 1992.
Thank you, Barry, and good afternoon, everyone. As Barry said, I am Senior Associate Dean for Education. I'm also a pediatrician, a very proud alumni of the University of Virginia School of Medicine, class of 1992, which my children like to remind me was in the last millennium, so it is true. I have the privilege of announcing all the names of the members of the class of 2025. We will be calling up the students in alphabetical order within their colleges. As you may or may not be aware, the students are aware, at the UVA School of Medicine, we've divided our medical school class into 4 colleges. Each of those is headed by a dean for student affairs, and they support their students really through the entire journey of medical school. The college deans have the honor of placing the white coats on their students at matriculation, that's now, and they hood them at graduation. 2 of the students in this year's class have immediate family members who are alumni or faculty in the School of Medicine family. These legacy students will be presented with their coats by their physician family members. The students of Dungleson College will receive their coats first, and presenting them will be Dr. Archibald Pannoni, Dean of Dungleson College. Dr. Lori Archibald Pannoni is a geriatrician and associate professor of internal medicine, and she completed her residency and fellowship here at UVA. So students, here are the instructions. The ushers will stand up in the aisles and signal your row when it's time to stand and proceed down to the stage. So you'll come this way and up these stairs. You will then stand on this X, which you'll be able to see when you get here. And if you veer off of that X, your dean is going to drag you back by your coat onto it. Also, after you have your coat placed, at this ceremony, our students are also signifying their pledge in joining our community of honor at the University of Virginia. So after receiving your white coat, you'll walk behind the podium and you will sign the honor pledge, which is on this white table behind me. You'll then leave the stage down these stairs and back to your seats. Audience, I know it is difficult, but please keep your applause till the very end of each college, or we will be eating breakfast in Old Cabell Hall. Thanking you in advance for your cooperation. Now, on to the students of Dungleson College. Sanya Bunsel. Nadim Barakat. Excellent. Noura Butrash. Teresa Blickenstaff. Fatma Chaudhry. Paul Clancy. Jesse Cochran. Nakul Dar. Kelly Denhard. Allie Dwight. Liam Giffen. Jacob Hellman. Melissa Houghton. Jeffrey Shu. Scott Jones. Emily Kaplan. Amrita Ladwa. Daniel Lee. Madeline Leonard. Emily Lynn. Peter Ma. Brock Manley. Shayna Merov. Nicholas McCann. Eileen Mistirovich. Jill Nerbas. Jessica Nguyen. Okechukwu Obedike. Cheyenne Painter. Derek Petrosian. Lam Phom Pham. Alexia Ritchie. Leah Smith. Isaiah Swan. Claire Thomas. Anjola Toyan. Tuyet Min Tran. Nikki Chelapadakis. Samuel Wachamo. Robert Walls. Ian Weber. Hibo Wahilia. And let's give a hand to Dungleson College. Next to present is Dr. John Densmore, Dean of Hunter College. Dr. Densmore is a hematologist-oncologist and associate professor of internal medicine, and is also, importantly, our associate dean for admissions. Dr. Densmore received his PhD and MD degrees from UVA and completed his residency here as well. Please welcome him to the stage. Now the students of Hunter College. Masht Abul Hassan. Josephine Arawa. Jordan Bagnall. Mira Bagus. Marie Baker. Kojo Boating. Giorgia Borgarelli. Joseph Caruso. Shane Chambers. Zian Chen. Michael William Clinton. Farah Contractor. Alyssa Costello. Valerie Cyphers. Corey Lynn de Betancourt. Henry de Hoyos. Vivian Dong. Asantiwa Franklin. Laura Garrick. Brett Garrell. Himani Gubi. Andrew Howe. Christopher Jowdy. Natalie Kessler. Nidhi Kuchimunchi. Emily Labruna. Margaret Lawrence. Margaret will be presented with her coat by her sister, Emily Aladnani, graduate of the med school in 2020. Oh. Hong Sung Lee. Chad Lehman. Sherbil Marche. Emily May. Mallory Maza. Ethan Mick. Shayna Nathwani. Kimberly Tay Wynn. Gabriella Nobert. Vivek Parikh. Vince Papalizio. Thomas Skasel. Avery Sukenik. Camille Westlake. Jack Yang. Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter College. Next will be the students in Penn College to receive their coats, and presenting them will be Dr. Dana Reddick, Dean of Penn College. Dr. Reddick is an Associate Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and please welcome her to the stage. Now we just need the students of Penn College. Oh, they're coming? Okay. Reem Abaker. Jasmina Abdallah. Michael Ambrose. Eliud Argao. Miliard Asefa. Kayla Bachman. Sarah Balai. Amber Bowman. Owen Bradley. Rachel Call. Kira Chaudhry. Isabel Chevarelli. Christina Cios. Helen Havens Clark. Helen will be presented with her coat by her father, David Anthony Clark, graduate of the School of Medicine, 1979. Jennifer Della Santina. Michael Gonçalves. Nina Gu. Dontranika Horton. Mary Catherine Howard. Madeline Hurwitz. Magdalene Kawarting. Kate Liu. Isabella Martin. Jason Lee Miller. Christian Nelms. T. Win. Hannah Pambianchi. Rima Patel. Purushotham Ramanathan. Danielle Rinaldi. McKenna Stidham. Davis Tran. Zachary Wilson. Shane Woods. Zainab Wuri. Kibret Johannes. Congratulations, Penn College. And now, Reed College, and our dean is Dr. Sean Reed. Dr. Reed is Associate Professor of Family Medicine and completed his residency here at UVA. Please welcome him to the stage. And now the students of Reed College. Benjamin Agner. Brianna Nicole Baldwin. Ezra Bass. Jessica Bryant. Robert Cutler. Malika Damalapati. Lindsay Furness. Megan Gaines. Clayton Grundvig. Emily Hall. Christina Halsted. Emma Christine Harrison. Antonia Hoydal. Parker Holum. Paige Howard. Christine Quinn. Kirabel Kantiba. Sarah Kinley. Moritz Lang. Ana Lopez Alvarez. Julia Luktong. Dua Malik. Joseph Nguyen. Ugochukwu Odega. Zubi Okafor. Mackenzie Oswald. Sharoz Ranja. Luis Marcelo Sanabria. Aaron Saunders. Daniel Soto. Alexander Swan. Anant Tiwari. Theodore Vasiliadis. Peter Victoria. Michael Vitti. Twai Vu. Hajira Wahilia. Hope Winfield. Margaret Woods. Garrison Wright. Ashley Zhang. Congratulations to Reed College. If all the students would remain seated, I'd like the audience to stand and recognize the University of Virginia class of 2025. They look good on those white coats, don't they? They look good. Class of 2025, if you put your hand in one of the pockets of your new coat, you will find a letter written to you from an upper class student welcoming you and encouraging you. And we just want to make sure that you know we are truly a learning community, and we are so, so, so excited to have you joining us. And the upperclassmen just wanted you to know directly. I would next like to invite all of the faculty to join me on the stage, and I'll invite all the students to stand for the recitation of the covenant for the entering class and their teachers. This covenant is the first of 3 that you will recite during your medical education and serves to welcome you to the profession of medicine. The words are printed in your program. Stephen Sherping, the president of the Mulholland Society, will lead the students, and then I will recite with the faculty.
Ready? All right. As I begin the study of medicine, I acknowledge and accept the responsibilities and privileges of an apprentice leader of ancient art and modern science. With teachers to guide me, I will approach my studies with diligence and integrity, cultivating the competencies and attributes of an accomplished physician. I will respect all persons, including faculty and staff, student colleagues, and especially patients, who will ever be my teachers. I will attend to the experiences, beliefs, and values of others and reflect on my own attitudes and assumptions. I affirm fidelity to my patients and will respect them, their choices, and their confidentiality. Mindful of my privileged access to their bodies, selves, and stories, I will seek to earn their trust and to care for them with skill, understanding, compassion, and fairness. Medical school will not only cultivate my intellect, but also challenge my moral imagination. It will shape and test my critical judgment and show me my limitations as well as my competencies. It will entail risk. In learning, I will make mistakes, but I forgive, yet always remember and learn from them. Mindful of my own health and well-being, I will seek to balance professional and personal pursuits. I will value my family, friends, colleagues, and mentors, and the mutual trust, humor, and confidence our relationships sustain. My study of medicine will extend throughout my life. In school and beyond, I will hold myself to the highest professional standards. I will look to a collegial model of learning and working. Even now, I assume the physician's social responsibility to improve the health of mankind. We students here join with our teachers to uphold our profession, honor its commitments, and advance its contributions.
As you embark on the study of medicine, I accept the privilege and responsibility of being your teacher. I will teach you the science and art of medicine and encourage you to be thoughtful, discerning, and compassionate in their practice. I will show you what is known and what is not known, what is certain and what is not. I will teach you to advance medical knowledge and skills, care for patients, and attend to the health of the public. Trust me to teach you as I trust you and your fellow students to teach me. You see reflected in me the character and social conscience of my profession. I will conduct myself with integrity and show you how I wrestle with issues of ethics and ambiguity. I will accord you respect, tolerance, and fair treatment. I am entrusted with teaching you to extend the same to your peers and patients. I encourage you to see patients as your tutors and to ground your relationships with them in advocacy, mutual vulnerability, and trust, and the utmost fidelity, for this is the heart of medicine. I will give you responsibilities and supervision appropriate to your knowledge and skills. I will not abandon you to your mistakes. I will encourage you always to put forth your best effort and will ask the same of myself. I ask you to recognize your teacher's limits and also your own, and to use your talents and energy to improve this institution and all that it offers. Together, we are stewards of an ancient and respected profession. You are this profession's future. Proudly, we welcome you into the study and life of medicine. You may be seated.
Well, this brings us to the conclusion of the white coat ceremony. And I want to again thank everybody that's joined us here today in person and also everybody that has joined us online. We will be taking a class portrait as well as photographs of each of the 4 colleges. And to ensure that this is a swift transition, we're going to dismiss the students first by college, and then we're going to invite the guests to join us afterwards. And we're going to be taking the photograph just on the steps outside here. So if I could ask Dr. Archibald Pannone to please take the Douglas and College students out front. And for all of our family members, I'd like to give you a note that all the photos that we are going to take today, the ones here of the ceremony, the group photos outside and of the class and of the colleges, they're going to be all available for a free download, and we are going to send that link out to not only the students, but everybody that has attended today. And then, of course, you can also check our Facebook page. It's going to have videos and pictures on there as well, and that's facebook.com/UVA Med Alum. So if I could just ask everybody to hold tight just for a couple more minutes. Thank you.